Right, welcome back to episode 177 of the Never Iron Anything Comics podcast. Yes, we finally did another one. This week, I'm welcoming back the Braintrust, two comic creators who I've had recent experiences with in the nicest possible way. This week, say hello to Cliff Cumber and Ian Ashcroft.
Hello.
Go on in. You're going to have to cover this one for a minute.
I may have said the worst thing I've ever said to Keith a few minutes ago. And
I don't know. It's saying something.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Eye-watering. Anyway, the people will never know. No, I will take that to my fucking grave.
For those that can't see, he tried on 3 different pairs of glasses on the warm-up to this.
No, they're all one pair.
Oh, right, just with different colour.
No, they're all the same pair. I don't know
what colour would you describe them as, Ian? The current ones he's wearing?
Like brown,
browny orange.
Brown, yeah.
Burnt.
Non-sea turtle colour.
Burnt orange.
Timmy Mallet-esque.
Christopher Biggins.
Yeah. You like the sort of straight, better-looking Biggins. I'm going to say that.
Let's not get carried away.
Okay, no, too much of a compliment early on. Good.
Too much. I need to put my shirt on. Hold on. I got a nice Hawaiian shirt that would go well with that for Halloween.
No, don't say things like that because people would think you've got no shirt on.
No, I have a shirt on right now.
Yeah, you just need to change your shirt. Is what I think.
You can see it. You can see I'm wearing it. I'm not taking.
I know, but listeners might think it's another nude podcast.
But the listeners of this podcast are absolute perverts.
What's wrong with them?
Nothing. No,
Yeah.
I think we're in good company.
No,
maybe not
right.
Ian, but I know you and I. You and I are.
Bunch of wrongins.
Bunch of hip squeaks. Yeah.
Hip squeaks. Diddy booty. Jackson. How you doing, Ian? You right?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, really good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, good. I've been seeing. We've had little access to your newest art. It's very good.
Yeah. Thank you
very
very
impressed. A whole new style is opening up for you. We're going to talk about a bit of that in a bit.
It's all right.
Yeah, okay.
Get in early. I'm going to show you, I don't know if either of you have listened to the new episode of the ACP, but this is the panel that shocked Vince and Dan at the end there.
I have not gotten to that part. I was only about halfway through.
That's an ant goes down on a lady. I was quite impressed with that. That's from Gina Wingrant.
Adamant?
George's name is. And I've contacted her to come on the show. She's accepted. It's promising, isn't it?
I'm fairly certain Adamant went down on lots of ladies.
Yeah, he weren't right though, was he? Didn't he pull a gun out in a pub or something at one point?
He did. He's apparently better now.
Yeah, he's touring with Toyah at the moment.
Wow, I would go see him. I was a huge This is just going to ruin my reputation even more. But I was a huge Adamant fan when I was young.
Yeah, Toyah's one of those older ladies you still would. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. My God. Yeah, she's a punk icon. Of course she would.
Ian, any opinions on that?
I don't know who she is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Christ.
That's good.
Oh, okay. So this is off to a bad start, guys.
It's gone all right. So I've gathered you both here together because we've been promising to do one of these, and the fact that you've both recently done a convention, I thought would be a nice reason to get us together. Phil, I'm going to run through a few questions and have a chat about our relative experiences, good and bad, I guess. So let's start with you, Ian. How many times have you tabled solo now? Is that the 3rd time, is it?
I've been to Bridlington 4 times.
Oh, wow,
now.
okay.
I think it's been 4 years in a run. And I've done Portsmouth as well.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I've done a couple of thought bubbles, but I've always been on like the Accent UK table or the Time Bomb table or something like that. But
right.
And I think I did a Nottingham as well once. Right.
Of course you did. Yeah, you came over. We had a chat, didn't we? That was when your daughter was really young, and I was telling her I was a ninja or something. I think you remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Well, now his daughter literally is a ninja, and so is he.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Clearly, you scared them into,
Who's this weird man we see at conventions? Just in case we need to defend ourselves against him, we'll do some training. So we like those who don't listen to the ACP, we both did Bridlington. It was my third time there, I think.
yeah.
And we arranged it so we're next door to each other. But you did quite well. I think of all of us in that little run of tables, you did the best, didn't you?
I was. What's really nice about Bridlington is now that I've been a few times, and a big thank you to Andy who puts the tables out for free, because it sort of makes it worthwhile then, because you're not going to make much money there. So knowing that your table's free is a big incentive to just go and see everyone and everything. And I've got to a point, because I've been there a few years now, that people are coming back and seeing me, and I've got like people who like to come and pick up original art from me. So it was really nice to be. It was one of my favourite cons I'd ever done, because it was like return people coming back who bought artwork before or bought the comic before. And I sold about 5 original pieces of artwork.
Wow.
I was really happy with the day. I mean, I massively did better than I thought I was going to do while I was there. Comic sales wise, it was okay. If it had just been on my comic sales, it wouldn't have been a massive seller. But getting people to buy the original art, which I thought something that is, if you do hand drawn on paper and all that, I think there's going to be a big market for that at some point, because digital art's massive already. And then if AI keeps going the way it is, there's not going to be that many pieces of original work out there, is there? So I think people just, if it's I wasn't asking the earth for it. It was I was just asking for a reasonable amount of money.
As with Keith, too cheap. I'll tell you both, it's too cheap you're selling it for. But then again, I guess you are selling it. So if it was a lot more expensive, it might not sell so much.
Yeah,
I haven't sold any art since Heroes in 23.
Yeah, but I think I was going to say that I haven't really sold any either. I think it is going to the cons is the way you can get it sold. I can shout about saying, "Oh, I haven't done this for a while actually," but if I said now, "Oh, commission's open" or something like that, I probably wouldn't get any uptakers. But if you go to a con and you're there and people are flicking through your portfolio,
that's bullshit, Ian. That is absolute bullshit. You absolutely would. You absolutely would. 100% you would. I would be one of them. Absolutely.
Oh,
I can guarantee it. And this is why, I mean, Ian's art is just unparalleled. Not to go down the septic tank of toxic compliments or anything like that. But, I mean, look at him. You see his latest page. If you actually... Was it on the Slack? Did somebody put it on the ACP Slack?
Yeah, you put it on there, didn't you? Yeah.
I put it up there, yeah.
It was aggravatingly good. I mean,
Thank you.
Really irritating how sort of skilled and beautiful that page was.
If that was in 2000 AD, people would be freaking out. I'll tell you now.
They could, Jesus Christ! It could have been a 2000 AD cover. That page was a page in a story that could. It was okay. Words fail me for how good that page is.
I am really proud of how that one's turning out at the moment. It's only a 6-page, but I don't know how much I can say yet.
It's isn't it? Yeah.
It's going to be part of a bigger thing, but I've been working on a project for a long time where everything was I don't want to get off topic we're talking about, but I was working on something where everything was refined to a point where it was very challenging artwork to do. I love the way all that's turned out, but this one's more like a flip side of that, more sketchy and more stylized, I suppose. And
you've been given, as I understand it, I think we can say you've been given a sort of quicker deadline on that one, and it sort of made you develop this different style, and it's almost, to me, it's sort of counterintuitive colouring that massively is intuitive. It just sort of somehow a man sitting there with a blue face just fucking fits. I don't know why you've got the eye for it. I couldn't comprehend doing that colour myself, but it just massively works.
Well, the way I do that,
Keith's nodding.
The way I do those pages is I don't start with the line art. I don't do any line work at all. I just block in colours. So it's very abstract at the start. There's no There's no form at all. Well, there's just shapes of colour and blocks of colour. And then I just work into it and work into it and work into it.
Right.
So it's actually not really sketchy at all. It's just a completely turned around process to what I usually would do.
Yeah. I'm gonna spoil a tiny bit of one that you showed me today. In that, in it, there's someone drinking a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday of last week, I had the first pint of Guinness I've ever had in my life.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've never drunk Guinness before. There used to be animal products used in the production of Guinness, so I never used to drink it. And now it's all changed. It's all been updated, and to be fair, and so I can drink it now. And a buddy of mine was out in Riga, Hal, said, "I'm going to buy you your first pint of Guinness." So he bought it for me. And so weirdly, that's why I think we're in the Matrix. One of the many reasons is that you've got this person drinking a pint of Guinness, and I've never drunk it before. It's just a weird moment.
It is, yeah. That is weird, isn't it? Like, for that to be in the artwork, and then you're like, it happens all the time, doesn't it? It's like I don't know. It's just a coincidence, but it feels more than that.
Yeah, we had a similar experience, Keith, didn't we? When I took a picture of me in a motel room looking out at a swimming pool, and you were at the time drawing a picture of me naked in a hotel room surrounded by dead hookers. Do you remember that instant we had?
Yeah. I thought you said we wouldn't talk about it. But okay.
You've changed your glasses again. What is going on with the world? This is getting strange. Yeah. This is the little chink in the Matrix, isn't it? This is the glitch. Cliff's glasses. That's what they'll call a big paper on this one day. Cliff's glasses and the Matrix. Keith's glasses.
Because I truly believe that my actual real name now is Keith. So
might as well be.
Might as well. I mean, Jesus. We need a good nickname for Ian. Yeah,
we do, don't we? Yeah.
We can't because he's so damn good.
It's because if we start a nickname now, when he's eventually famous in about 6 months, it's going to be the egg's going to be on our face, isn't it?
It really is, and people will just turn on us at that point. I think I feel more people will turn on us more.
Be like those K-pop blokes. Whenever anyone slags them off, people get murdered.
Or the furries. Yeah, anytime you, he's going to have that kind of fan base. I can feel it in my nuts. He's going to definitely.
Why did we go there?
Crazies, the crazies.
We went to your nuts very quickly there. That's worrying.
I would suggest that we've been doing this for at least 5 minutes, and there has not been one ball mention.
Good point. Actually.
So,
that is a good point.
So I happen to think that I've practiced an inordinate amount of restraint, not talking about my testicles.
Yeah, you've done well. That's actually a record for you.
Not quite, but I mean it's close. On this podcast, is a definite record.
Yeah, we'll just quickly go back to Brillington for a second there. I think one of the reasons I like doing it, and I've done it when I'm in England. I think I did it. I couldn't do it once because I think I was at Baltimore with you, Cliff. Was that it's building something. Andy is building a community, I think. He's building through this sort of free table and having this sort of set area that remains in the same place. He's got something going on that he's sort of, and I like to be part of that actually. And we've been kind of put part of it from the start almost.
Yeah, I'd love more people to go because people make it all the way up to Harrogate, which isn't that far away at all, to go and do the thought bubble. They're going to get charged an awful lot of money for a table. Yeah. I'd just love more people to take advantage of what he's putting out there and really get that comic alley going because it is building, definitely. I mean, I think it's proven to me that it's like it can do well for you if you go there and like I said, I do think if you got the original art as well to sell, it's going to really help you out.
I think so, man. It's the one thing that people can't get in the shops. That's the thing I think with a lot of LA.
And people are really nice there as well. Like
they are really nice.
Like loads of families coming up, and I ended up with there was these two young lads and their dads were there, and I ended up looking through all their artwork that they'd done, and they were like, it was just a nice family atmosphere as well. And it's nice to it's great to see you and Adam. I don't get to see Adam hardly ever unless go down south, but. And it's good as well to spend time with like my daughter Eva.
It's nice that she's here.
She always tags along.
She needs to do more art as well, doesn't she?
She really does. I mean, she's got her art GCSE this year, so she's doing that. And but yeah, I said I'd love her to do another DUI because she did a really great job on that. But I don't know. I think it'll be next year if she does another one now.
Yeah, massively. What's the future got for you convention wise, Ian? Because if you'd have hung about a couple of days, you could have met the Ladyboys of Bangkok who were coming to that hall, weren't they? I think that would have been a nice experience. Do you not see the sign as you drove into Bridlington?
No.
Comic convention this weekend. Next weekend, Ladyboys of Bangkok. And we're like, oh, okay.
There is a picture of Tony that does exist of him standing in front of that sign, and he just sent it without any kind of context. Yeah. And I'm like, look at this thing, and I read it doesn't need a context. Like 3 events, and
funny enough, I was on Facebook, and Dave West asked me if I was going to Thought Bubble, and I probably will, but only as like just someone having a look around.
Because you've got a Kickstarter running, haven't you? You're part of a Kickstarter that's sort of an anthology.
Unexpectedly part of a Kickstarter, which I'm happy to be. It feels really great because it's like sort of come at a time where hopefully another Kickstarter is coming out in the future that's going to represent a big moment for me.
Yeah.
But this Kickstarter is collecting a series called Tales of Western Noir, and it's my first published pages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
See it coming out now and looking back on what I was doing back then, and yeah, it's nice.
So that scene with the horses and that's one of your first. Fucking
that's my first ever page.
Jesus Christ!
With the horses and all the bulls and everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's the first one. And yeah, so Dave got me doing that one, and then he what he's done.
Have a word with Dave about the word cemetery, will you?
I will.
Yeah. Tell him how to spell it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Gustavo Vargas is in there, and there's a good few people.
Mal Earl's in there as well.
Mal Earl's in there.
Yeah, he's good.
Great.
I love his stuff.
Yeah.
I've yet to meet Mal, actually. I know he's big mates of our buddy Simon, but I'd love to meet him. I really do. I do love his work as well.
Really instantly recognisable drawing style.
Massively. Yeah. He did the cover of that anthology I gave you when we were down at the seaside, Cliff. You know that big A4 anthology? He did the owl on the front of that.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that drawing. That's really good, though. But like quite a sharp, angular style, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, so idiosyncratic, isn't it? It's like, it really is. Yeah.
But also organic. It felt very organic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So that's out at the moment, and that all came about at a convention as well. So that's another great thing about conventions. I think that, like, people bumping into each other and having conversations, and then something new gets kicked off, doesn't it? And a new project starts happening. So they're a great place for all that. And
beer's a great reason to go to conventions, to get involved with other people, isn't it? It always seems to me that I always seem to get involved and asked to do stuff when I've had a beer or someone else has had a beer. It's sort of, and I like that. I think that's fine. It's sort of the sort of way of UK comics, really, when you look back at all the previous conventions. Funny enough, you were saying there about Thought Bubble, and I think we Thought Bubble's had a long run now. It really has. And I think we need, because if you look, we had UCAC, then we had Bristol, and now we've got Thought Bubble. That's kind of the run of the big cons. And I wonder what's going to eventually take its place. Whether there's MCM's still big, but is it most people aren't there for comics, I would say. But what would be the next thing? Because there's a lot of zine fairs, and we had the guy from Ink Block Comics, the convention, on last week on the pod. So there's all these sort of things who are coming up on the sidelines, and I just wonder where Thought Bubble. I kind of feel that Thought Bubble will eventually get so big to be unmanageable almost, because it's such a big hall of just so many people. You ain't got time to see everyone.
No, I really liked it when it was in Leeds Armories.
Yeah.
I like Harrogate. It's a nice place, but I just think of it like the hall is so massive. You just it feels overwhelming, I think, really. And it's I don't know, it just doesn't feel, it's lost a bit of its magic for me, I suppose, with some of the things that have gone on in the past. And I don't think the guests are as exciting as they once were,
Yeah, it's the same with a lot of conventions. They get stuck in that rut of inviting the same people sometimes.
Yeah.
We've also got the Lakes going on as we speak. That's just finished. People are travelling home from it. But the thing is, like, there's no back issues. There's no tables of new comics. There's no Marvel, there's no DC, there's no Image stands anymore. There used to be at Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just financially, it's such a vast landscape of tables, it's not financially viable for them to sell at the table because they're not going to make enough money.
Well, the other thing that it used to do, which I think was really important, was like portfolio reviews. I can remember having a portfolio review with Shelley Bond at Thought Bubble.
Okay.
And, you know, handing my portfolio over to artists that I really admired and like getting their open, honest feedback about it. And sometimes it's hard to take, and sometimes it's brilliant. Well, it's always good because you're learning stuff. But like one of my biggest artists that I like is Lee Mayo, and he through my portfolio, and to have him saying nice, kind words about my stuff, just a massive.
Great, man,
like, you know, it was great to see him there, and Lawrence Campbell had a look through it as well and gave me some really, loads of good stuff. And I just don't feel like I don't know if those opportunities are still there, or they maybe are, but I didn't.
That's interesting. Well, let's segue over to Cliff's recent experiences. Not those ones, Cliff, the convention ones.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. So, well, and I'm going to ask a little bit about the looking at your art, getting people to look at your art, the opportunities for it at that. But so from your experience, you've tabled with me and Falpy.
Yes.
Was that your first tabling experience? I'm going to say it here.
Yeah, I never tabled before then. Yeah, that was the first tabling experience I'd had, is actually being on that side, you know, for sure. It was a fun one, though. I don't think it was a particularly, I don't think that would be how most people would approach tabling, but definitely ruined me for any other experiences, for sure.
That was just, you know what Falpy's like. That was just a weekend of just non-stop, like, breaking it. What do they call it in America? Breaking your balls, breaking each other's balls constantly. For the whole weekend.
As an act of love.
It was.
There we are, back to the second ball reference of this episode of NIA. But no, it was honestly, it was just three mates having a very, very good time together.
And selling the odd comic to nice people.
Yes, occasionally selling comics or giving them away. And I think, it definitely set the bar very high for any other con experiences for me, because I think the thing that I most enjoyed about it, and I'm presuming you're going to ask about SPX, but the thing I most enjoyed about that it was the fact that I got to meet so many other creators who are, and it was like actually having a table gave you almost like a passport or a calling card as
to go chat,
being then in the in crowd almost. I mean, I don't mean that to sound sort of
behind the table, wasn't it? Because funny enough, I was just
behind the table. Yeah,
I was just thinking of you, Keith, because I was watching that Selling Superman, that documentary that's on Prime at the moment, and Jim Marfood's on it. And that's one of your favourite experiences. So Jim he had like the table at the end of our little run, and you went over and just had a chat with him behind the table. It's so much easier, and you're a human being. You're not a human being at a table, but you know, when you're behind it, you're almost like an equal, I guess.
That's how I saw it. I mean, it was there's sort of a credibility to being behind the table that you don't get being in front of it. Well, I mean, you know, because I think there's a certain transactional quality to having somebody coming up to the table, and that sort of adds a certain tone or tinge to the exchange, right? They think you're going to try and sell them something, but when you're behind the table,
not us
creators, not us. Very true. Yeah, I say that qualifying us as the exception that proves the rule. But yeah, it was nice because I mean, you know, you could walk up to people and even people who weren't, you know, you're walking up to them. Oh yeah, I'm tabling over here. And they would immediately treat you in sort of, you know, as like one of them, which is something I really enjoy because I love talking to other creators. I love the sort of the exchange and the talking shop and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and then, you know, we were all swapping comic books at the end.
We were a right little crew, weren't we? The guys next to us, we had some guys, they were like army vets, black dudes, army vets who were selling their comic, and we got on like a fucking house on fire with them. And every time a lady in a skimpy costume would walk past, I'd just catch his eye, this dude next to me, and he'd go, yep, Like, let's just like fucking not that.
And the thing I think we do need to qualify for NI readers is that lots of women walk past our table because of you, Tony. Because I mean,
here we go. This is his favourite story.
No. I know you try and deny it, and you try and sort of you play it down a lot. But I mean, walking into a crowded hall with you is a bit like dropping a grenade full of Spanish fly.
I don't think so. We're neck and neck. I've told you this before. One of my favourite moments is me and him. The second year we did Heroes, we didn't table. We just sort of mooched around, and we go to this one table, and we're looking through these long boxes of trades in, and I said to the lady, just conversationally, I said to the lady behind the table, I said, "Is this your main job?" And she says, "No, I sell bananas." Right, so I caught his eye, and I thought, "Oh, here we go, fucking hell." So.
She did say that she had her own banana tree at home.
She had a banana farmer thing, didn't she? Yeah.
Because I mean, I was talking to her for at least 5 minutes before you strolled up, and she was asking me about comics and stuff like that. And as soon as you rolled up to the table, it was like I had gone completely invisible.
Get off.
No, it's true. And the other defining point was when you walked up, you were just rolling up, casually to a t-shirt stand, and the woman looked at you and immediately was like, oh, "Your hair is so beautiful," like that, and it was like right in front of her husband who was sitting there.
Yeah, I've got that chair in the hotel room for him, Keith.
He's definitely
that before.
The cuck chair. Yeah. But I mean, it's amazing. So not to distract, but I mean,
this is not a
any
party.
convention, any crowded room that we walk into, especially cons, it's just, I mean, it's impossible. It's like
he does this all the time.
Walking in with Brad Pitt.
All the
heads just turn. They just turn, and it's like it happened in Mevagissey of all the places. Mevagissey is a small Cornish.
That was a lady I'd met before in the hospital who was shouting my name down the side of.
That was not just one lady, though. That's the thing. We walked into the Harbour Tavern, and all the women just sort of, and some of the men all went like there's this creaking noise as they all just turn towards
fantasy.
You. It's not, dude. I have to see it. I have to be subject to it. I mean, this is. It's just the Esmond effect.
Listen, let's move on.
Be studied.
Let's talk.
But yes, let's talk about SPX.
Let's talk about SPX
because you weren't there. You weren't there, but the same experience because Sam Bloody Arthur was there as well.
They love him. The old librarian ladies.
They
love a bit the Arthurs, don't they?
Love him. Yeah. Everybody would come up to the table. And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, can I help you? It's Flying Eyes, great books." And they're like, "Where's the other guy?" I was like,
we were there before 2 years ago, and a lady started talking to Sam, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and she just took a video out and started putting him on TikTok or something, didn't she? He's like, "What's going on?" What's all this? So Ian, I think let's describe to Ian what SPX is. So SPX is what Thought Bubble wants to be.
Right.
Very progressive, I'm going to say. Very diverse.
Very curated show.
Very curated, yeah. Lacking in superhero style comics.
No cosplay. It's discouraged. In fact, I think they actively sometimes turn people away if they're wearing cosplay. So no cosplay. It's all about comics and everything.
A lot of badges comics. That say "Be kind."
Yes,
worn by people who are not.
Yeah, well, it's like a bumper sticker, right?
It really is, at this point.
It's all posting on social media. Look, mate, I posted on social media. Be kind, you cunt.
I'm fine. No, I'm going to chin you. I'm going to throw a glass at you. So Ian, it's like so Nobra had a table. They get the books delivered. I did it 2 years ago. And then I couldn't do this year, and I said, I know a man who lives in Maryland, and you'd met Sam at the 500th anyway, hadn't you? I think.
Yeah, several times. Yeah, I met him a couple of times at least. Yeah.
Oh, you met at convention. He came along to that.
That's right, convention. Yeah. I think I even met him before. I think he came out for a drink with us in London at some point.
Okay, cool.
So we
nice guy.
Knew him well enough to be like, I'd be happy to help. So I did volunteer and let him know that if he was going to do it, I would be there, happy to do it. So it takes place in a small, it's not even a town. It's called Bethesda. It's sort of an area of Maryland that is quite urban, and it takes up a room in a hotel, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a convention hall in a hotel. It's not huge by any means.
No. It's like a
But
massive.
it's
It's like a
packed.
big ballroom, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's it. That's a perfect description of it. And they pack in like 200 or 300 creators and tables, you know.
Wow.
Again, I think it's done by a lottery system, so it can sometimes
okay.
be difficult to get in. But also the organizer, Warren Bernard, I think he definitely strongly curates who he wants to be at that convention.
Nice. Followed the podcast
and-
this week, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Very cool.
interestingly,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah, interesting. Lovely. And he is like, I mean, it's like it's his convention, the entire thing. It's sort of organized around him. And he loves Sam and he loves Flying Eye.
Yeah.
And they which is formerly No Brow.
So Flying Eye is kind of the
longer
kid's
listeners.
arm a bit, isn't it? Really. Yeah.
So what I understand from Sam is they're transitioning now away from No Brow and adult stuff into that teen and younger
Yeah.
kind of audience. And that's the Flying Eye brand, although they will be publishing things like In Waves and other sort of more adult toned
Yeah.
books under that imprint, under a slightly different older. I think they have a different badge for it and stuff, different logo for it. But yeah, so that was it's a 2-day conference. It's just Saturday and Sunday. It starts around 10 or 11 in the
Saturday
morning.
night.
and-
Is it the Ignatz? It's the Ignatz Awards,
Yes,
isn't it? Yeah, which
yeah,
are the big
the
sort of
Ignatz Awards.
indie Fantagraphics friendly kind of awards.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I mean, my one complaint would be that you know they didn't have room for like Dan Nadell's biographer, which was slightly
yeah.
controversial this time around.
Crumbs, that's the Crumb
Robert
book.
Crumb's
Yeah.
book, yeah, which I think you know. is
You really
worth
love that book. You
discussing.
rate it, don't you?
I do rate that book, and
It's on the shelf waiting to be read for me. Actually, I haven't read it yet.
it's a good one. It's worth it. Definitely, you know, it's a warts and all account. And I mean, Crumb is controversial, whether or not, you know, I'm a fan of Crumb's, but I can recognize that there's some problematic
Yeah.
stuff that might be viewed even more
Well, I
dimly.
think people often cite his, his sexual imagery and stuff, but I think there's been
Yes,
more recent,
sexual and
there's sort of
racial.
and the sort of anti-vax stuff. But like, you can still admire. Do you know much? Are you a fan, Ian? Have you read much Crumb or?
Not much. I've just seen like the classic images of the guy doing that big walk down the road.
Keep
Yeah.
on trucking. Yeah.
Keep on
Yeah.
trucking, and the one where his face is the one where his face is
Melting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know very well. I'll be honest. Robert
Okay.
Crumb.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, I mean, not to get off of SPX, but, you know, SPX, I don't think would be happening if not for Robert Crumb opening
Yeah.
the doors to underground comics. I mean, he's the guy who effectively made underground comics an actual
Keeps
thing.
coming up, doesn't he? Keeps coming up constantly.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he is, like I said, problematic, but, you know, we have to understand these artists in the context of the periods in which they were working, I think, you know, to rule them out completely because they are suddenly no longer fashionable or culturally appropriate, I think is an injustice to our history, and especially a history of something as obscure as underground comics, which really is a sort of, you know, febrile kind of period that really needs to be understood, I think, in terms of what they were reacting to and why they were reacting, why they published the comics that they did. So, you know, that was
and
slightly
how much is meant and how
disappointing.
much is not meant as
Right,
an intention.
again-
I think there's a lot of that. You could talk the same way about tribute.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, SPX is the perfect place to do this, or it should be the perfect place to do this. It has an academic connection to the Library of Congress, which is I guess it's like the British Museum here. The equivalent is they take all of the books from that convention, each convention, and they are filed in the Library of Congress.
Right.
So it is working within the parameters of
Like the British
creating,
Library. Yeah.
right, a historical record of a period that traditionally has sort of just disappeared as soon as, you know, people throw out their zines or magazines or anything like that, you know, and the creators behind them don't get their due because anyway. So
I know
you
they
from a
put on
historical
a sort of an exhibition, didn't they, the night before?
They did, and a lot of people, including Sam, were invited to it. And
Yeah, he
they
sent me
got
some
to
pictures.
see
Yeah,
some
yeah.
very original, some original pages, like
Schultz?
Spider-Man's
Yeah.
original page from Spider-Man #1 is there,
Oh wow.
you know?
Okay.
Yeah, the cover and I think the first page or something like that. But
Right.
yeah, so there's this wonderful sort of, you know, Warren's worked very hard to ensure that like this underground and small press and independent scene in the US is recognized and documented. So, you know, that'd be one minor criticism that I would have about like not inviting Dan Nadell to discuss his biography
Yeah.
about
Who were the guests this year though, Keith? There were.
Good question. I didn't get to see I didn't get to
Of
see
course.
any of the panels too much, but I will tell. I can if I can run down a few
Yeah,
of the names
please
of
do.
people who I ran into, and I did have a conversation with. I stole Jesse Lonergan's seat one morning. I just ran into him. He just walked up to us. I was talking to somebody at the table. Somebody knew him. He walked up to say hello and introduced himself. And I mean, if you don't know Jesse Lonergan, he is a phenomenal.
Drone's one of the big hits of the year, I think.
Drome, I actually sold out a Drome on the first day. Apologies, I was going to get you a copy.
That's right, man. That's good.
And then found out that he'd run out of them, which is justifiable because it's incredible. I don't have. Yeah, here it is.
I know Jason Wood was saying it's one of his books of the year. Yeah. Oh, it's much
honestly,
bigger than I realised. Oh wow.
It's a novel, right? I mean, it's A4 here, and clearly it's got like more, you know, 150 plus pages.
Very.
It's $30 in the US.
Do you want to show? Can you show Ian just a bit of the interiors here? Because I think it's very. Yeah, a lot of it's like that. It's grid. You know, there's a lot of geometric shapes and stuff like that.
Not just that, it's the scope of the story. This sort of it's like it runs through an alternative kind of history. So it starts off with the creation of the universe, and that's as much as I've read of it, which is about a quarter maybe of the book.
A beautiful book, man.
It's one of those books where you just want to take your time with it. And I didn't know a lot about Jesse Lonergan before meeting him, and I gave him a copy of Tony Osmond too.
Oh, did you?
And he gave
he loved
me
the fisting scene.
I actually did flick through to some of those pages ahead of time and say, just FYI, there's Clea Rocker shoving her hand up a dead guy's ass here. So just forewarned is forearmed. You know, fists as he pleases and all that.
He does.
So anyway, Jesse Lonergan, and it was interesting because, like I said, I didn't know much about Jesse Lonergan. I started looking into his work, and it just it was, you know, you have that sort of feeling at the back of your head where just something clicks, and you're like, yeah, I love this. This is great. Yeah. So Jesse Lonergan's work for me was a moment that I had with that.
Sadly, Lafleur wasn't there this year, was he? Steve wasn't there, which was a shame because we're big fans and friends of Steve.
I love Steve. Yeah. I love Steve. But I think when we were there a couple of years ago, I don't think he felt like it was quite his crowd.
Yeah,
which is fair enough.
Yeah, plus he's busy. He's just finished a book for Fantagraphics, isn't he, as well?
Oh, yes. He's also been working.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to pick that up. You know, but Lafleur is an icon and a legend. And we got to have dinner with him and spend some time with him. And that was just fantastic. I couldn't believe anybody else wasn't like just
we ended up in a Chinese, in a noodle place, didn't we? And
ramen noodle. We went there again.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And we just say things like, you'd say things to Steve like, did you know Crumb? And he says, yeah, I knew Crumb. And then he'd come out with some anecdote, and you're like, this is the fucking bit. Everyone's like rapt listening to Steve tell stories.
Yeah, and he was just such a nice guy. Just so like, anyway, Lafleur will hold a place in my heart.
Yeah.
Forever. Just as like, you know, I didn't know him before, and then I realized kind of like, okay. And a lot of, you know, it's like one of the good things about SPX and tabling at SPX this time around was that being behind the table and that cachet of being behind the table, a lot of people came up to the table to meet the guy who was signing, which was an incredibly talented young man called Carlos Sanchez. He'd done a book for Flying Eye called Rune. He was there for both days. Just workhorse and tremendous sense of humor.
That sells books there, man. I remember when we, when we were there,
people were lining up for him.
Fucking yeah, they do, and you sell a lot. It's in a way, it's like Thought Bubble. You know, it's that sort of cool crowd, but it's a much bigger selling convention for me. We sold every single book on our table.
Wow,
that is
like,
that's true. We
unbelievable. Did. You know. and it's just everyone coming. It's constant selling, isn't it? You're on your feet. You don't sit down as the day goes. Yeah, really good.
This one was, I think, mainly probably because you weren't there, Tony. But I did come back with 3 boxes of stuff I have here that I have to send back on for Flying Eye.
That's not much, though, is it? When you look at it,
not a lot, not a lot. He was there when you and I were manning the table in 23. I think it was Terrell Waiter, who is, again,
love him. What a lovely guy. Yeah.
And Carlos was very much like that. Just these lovely guys from Barcelona. Just the stories he had. He lives above the brothel and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, you can ask him that.
Terrell was another one of those guys who he sort of overheard a joke between me and Keith, and he went. I looked at him, and went, "Oh, sorry for that, because you know what our jokes are like." And he went, "I got you, boys. I've got you." And we're like, yes.
Yeah, just a grinder as well. Both of these guys were just like, they're just sitting there pushing. And I think one of the things about SPX is that it mirrors the European cons a little bit. Definitely the Bond SNA ones, because the artists draw in the books. At least Carlos did. He did not stop. Yeah, every single person who bought a book from him got an illustration.
Is that something you do? Do you sketch much in the front of books or anything like that? Or
usually if sometimes I do it with the Kickstarters as well. There'll be like a sketch plate at the front of some of the books, and I just do a sketch. And I'm happy to do sketches. Like do them for free. Like if it's not going to take you very much time, and it's going to.
It's like Dave Gibbons with Rorschach. He can probably do it without even looking at the paper. Sometimes I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's just a nice little touch that is so humanizing, and you get something truly unique, when you do that.
Because it becomes almost like a signature. It's like shorthand. It's not a proper drawing. You're just drawing something nice and quick for someone who's going to enjoy it. It's a nice thing.
Yeah. I know when I open up the books that do have drawings, it just means so much more to me.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, it's I like to get them signed to David Icke as well. It's my new hobby.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but
it's funny.
It's funny. I think bit weird, but quite funny. When you finally do IT, and I'm going to come over and just ravage your comics collection, I'm going to probably take all of those.
Yeah. Imagine how much better they'll sell on eBay.
Probably. Probably. Anyway, here, do you want to hear some of the other blokes?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. And ladies. Tom Gold had dinner with him, Mooncop.
Oh, did he come out for dinner with you guys, did he?
He did, and he's a lovely bloke. Even though he's Scottish, he is actually a lovely bloke. But he was very nice. I didn't quite twig until a little bit during the dinner who he was.
Classic. Cliff.
Yeah. He was like this guy with glasses and long hair, and he's come along with Sam, and I was like, oh, he just seems like a nice bloke. And then I sort of Googled him over dinner. I was like, oh shit, yeah, okay, he's that guy.
He's big news because he's one of those guys who sells within comics, but he sells within the newspaper sales or all this.
Oh yeah, and he does. He does a lot of stuff. He's living the dream. Like the New Yorker covers, the New Yorker cartoons. Mooncop was a lovely little sort of book, and very talented guy.
Nice.
Had some great stories that I can't repeat. Dennis Kitchen, speaking of underground legends.
Man, we love him.
Okay,
and we also are massively infatuated with his daughter, both of us.
Yes,
yeah.
Scarlett. You hands off, she's mine. He was lovely, actually. He was a bit grumpy the last time.
Oh, was he? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He was almost opposite you, wasn't he? Because I saw him in your pictures.
There. Yeah, I could wave to him. I had some lovely conversations with him. And then in the bar afterwards, he was just sort of sitting there, and he nodded at me, and I nodded at him, and then I reached over and shook his hand, and that was it,
Good
all
stuff.
Good.
Did you get a commission off him, like I said?
No, I did not, and I should have.
Yeah.
Next year. I did actually. So I think... Okay, part of what I think helped was that he has a new book out, which is a compilation of mostly German artists, I think, based on a an iconic cover that he did, which was the attack of this giant penis or something.
Oh, okay, right.
Right, and there's a giant cock on the front. It's the cover, and then it's interpretations of the story within. And that is one of the things that made him famous back in the 70s.
Right.
Like this massive cock that is attacking New York. And I joked, oh boy, I didn't think, I didn't know that I was going to come to this convention and get a chance to grab Dennis Kitchen's big cock. So that, and then Dennis Kitchen made like a dozen dick jokes. Right? Okay. Underground legend, Dennis Kitchen, making dad's jokes about like dicks in front of his daughter. Oh, there you go, his mooncock. Yep.
Yeah.
And he was lovely. And
he's just got that movie coming out, isn't he? I backed it on Kickstarter. There's like a movie.
Oh, the documentary.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, he, strange enough, didn't have an awful lot of any of that stuff at his table that I saw. But
okay.
Afterwards I did look it up. I did go back and when he was doing like a panel or something and talk to his daughter Scarlett.
I bet you did.
Yeah, of course I did. That was lovely. Even better that you weren't there because she would not even have looked at me.
Mate, your Maryland 6'11" swagger will have impressed her, I'm sure.
Yeah, but not as much as just like the literal pheromonal like impact of having Tony Esmond stand next to you.
Oh, that's just because you're my wingman. I've told you that before.
Like the wash, it's like a tidal wave of just sexy.
It's the chocolate waterfall
just coming at you. It is the chocolate waterfall, and now the slightly distinguished grey streaks in it.
There is some grey in there now.
There's no way you can't.
Downstairs, man, it's worse. It's out now.
Can't compete. Well, I'm fortunately I've never been in a convention where you've pulled out the downstairs, but I could only imagine the riot that would happen if you did.
It's like when Kirk is aged in that Star Trek episode. That's what it looks like downstairs.
Oh,
a load of white hairs on a couple of crab apples. It's no good.
It's like Captain Pike. You should put it in a box, a little box with his head poking out. That would be your Captain Pike cosplay.
That's my ball transporter.
And just press a little button so the balls can talk.
Hearing what you're hearing, Ian, do you think that you would like to do SPX, or do you think? What do you think?
No, it sounds really great. Sounds good. I definitely need to like update myself on some of these names because I'm like sitting here. It's like a joy to hear you two talking about it going on, but I don't know a lot of those names, so
I think
it's interesting.
I think familiarize myself with it a lot. But
I think something like Keogh Wordsmith would fit right in.
Yeah, I think so.
As books on a table at SPX. I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think some of your work, people, it's Prince and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be the crowd that you would definitely have a moment of breakthrough with the American crowd there for sure. Definitely,
I think the thing what you're saying there, Ian, makes me think of something I'd written down for Keith as well. Is that when you go to these conventions, I don't know what you're both like, but you have to, especially if you're going to work for No Brow, sometimes you have to kind of research who else is going to be there.
Yeah.
And what books you've got to sell. Because it's almost like you almost have to memorise a bit of rattle for when they come to the table and say, oh, in waves. And you say, oh, this is part documentary, part drama about them. You know, there's all, they pick a book up, you can say, oh, that's a sort of fantasy story. You know, there's almost not to hard sell, but just to be, because people say, what's this about? And go,
I found that like in Bridlington, especially like having the portfolio with the original art. This was the other side of it that I was going to say. People like it was a good in because you'd be like, oh, that's how that page there is page number what in the first issue, and they see like the process and a little bit about how it's done, and it sort of clicks with them because I think they just I don't think they're always that sure that you're the person who's made the comic sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't, how did you find selling at Bridlington, Tony? Because yours has got like more.
We didn't sell much, man. We just, to be fair, I think most of our sales were to people who came back again, like you say, who we'd sold stuff to before. I mean, we actively don't sell. It's terrible. Yeah. I mean, I spent about a good hour of the day hiding from that bloke who was fucking with the sandwiches.
He was fucking sandwiches.
No, I went in the green room. Me and Ian, obviously, because we're faces, we get loud in the green room.
Of course.
And I go in there, and there's this bloke. I think I've talked a bit about this on ACP, but he's
yes,
taking the ham out of sandwiches and putting all the ham from other sandwiches into one sandwich. And he kind of just caught me off guard. And he's like, "Oh, I think I know you." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." "Oh, do you?" And then he made me look at his game, and I didn't want to look at his game.
Who does that?
I know, it's very weird,
well,
isn't it?
He came to our table later. After you ran off, and then he came to me, and he said basically the same patter, and then he said, "Oh, is this your book? What's it about?" And I started telling him what it was about, and then he just launched into about his game. It was just, he wasn't interested in anything anyone had to say. He just wanted to tell you about his game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was slightly annoying too at SPX, that kind of the soliciting at the table. And it wasn't as bad as that. I mean, at least I didn't have to, well, for one thing, there's no green room because, we're not that special. But the other thing, at least didn't have some fucker stealing the fillings out of sandwiches to make
weird?
A mega sandwich.
Yeah, isn't that weird? But I think the thing is what you say there
strange.
about Nobrow, though, Keith, because it is a big draw. There's people love Nobrow, and they will come over and pitch you stories and give you stuff to look at. And that sort of thing
exactly.
a lot. Yeah.
It's a sought after label. I think there are a lot of people who are coming up to the table, and honestly, some people who are really good. Pitching Sam. What was that again?
Is that ever successful? Someone just
I think so.
back table and
The thing is with Sam is he will look at it.
Yeah,
it will get looked at. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's unlikely. But what else are you going to do? I mean, what other opportunities do you get to actually meet somebody face to face and pitch the book? So I understand. There are people who are coming there who would be like, "Hey, I've got this story. I think it might fit with your imprint."
If you're reasonable and nice people, I think it's worth a punt. If you look at AJ Dungo, he came in to look around Nobrow as part of a sort of college trip, and he pitched it to Sam there, who sort of took it onwards, and that was a pitch like that, and it was a cold pitch. So it does happen.
It does. I think it's more likely. I mean, they because they're a bigger imprint, they do have somebody who is always looking for acquisitions and things like that. So
it's one of the things I actively do at on Glem. For Sam is I'll pick books up and then in the evening we'll go through. So I've got this, and he's like, "Oh, this is interesting. Who's this from?" And one of them I remember giving it to him, and he said, "Oh, this got pitched to me by the company today." And I'm like, "Oh," and it's almost like, "Oh, wow. We're finding the right things."
Yeah. It was interesting because there was a guy there named Bobby English, and he's working on a book for Flying Iron right as we speak. And I got to see his process. And I mean, he effectively, I think he just contacted Sam and pitched him on something and showed him some artwork, and that's how he ended up, getting an offer to start developing his book.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. They have a slate that's, a year and a half in advance or something, I'm going to say at least, depending on who you're working with and what the project is. But, it's worth a go. And they're a great little company. They're very kind.
It is. They are, definitely. And I think people really, if you are going to pitch a company like that, for God's sakes, just do a little bit of research into the kind of books that they're putting out. Because a lot of the people coming up to the table clearly didn't quite fit like the Flying Eye aesthetic. Yeah, so I think just as sort of a tip is just to at least know who you are pitching to, and try and understand whether your work fits into the oeuvre that they're trying to produce.
Well put, mate.
Who
was the guy who was next to you as well? He's mate of Fingerman's, isn't he? Who was the
Dean Haspiel.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. Who I've seen at I don't know how many other comics conventions, and I never expected him to be at SPX. I would not have pegged Haspiel's work as something that would necessarily go over as well at SPX. I see it more in that sort of slightly edgy alternative
maybe,
thing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Honestly, though, I mean, I bought 4 of the books that he had for sale there, and I've read them all, and he's tremendous. He's really great. Another and again, just the loveliest guy. Who it was like I went up to him and "Are you Dean Haspiel?" I was like, "Yes, yeah." Well, I didn't say, "Are you Dean Haspiel?" I knew it was Dean Haspiel. I just sort of pointed at him and went, "Dean Haspiel," he got up and he was like, yeah. I'm like, "Oh my God, I saw you at Baltimore. I saw you talking with Steve Conley and all that sort of stuff." And he just gave me a big old hug, and it was like, oh, okay, here we are, all right.
Yeah, you seem to get on like a house on fire. The pictures of you as enemy, it looked like a right
Yeah, it was
laugh.
lovely. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, just I think, the good thing about working behind the tables, I was sitting next to Dean Haspiel. He'd brought a mate of his who was also selling his comics, whose name I unfortunately sadly cannot quite remember right at the moment. And they were sitting across, and the people on the table next to us were from Latvia, Tony. So
Remember
there's
you
a
saying,
connection.
yeah.
Yeah. You just got back from there.
Yeah.
So it was, I'm going to murder the names, Ingrid Pikijuna and Viviana Marie Stanislavska. Just lovely. I don't think they quite knew what to make of me. Nobody really ever does, especially women. But again, you weren't there, Tony, so they actually just spent some time talking to me, and I was speaking with them.
Right, yeah, that completely innocently,
again,
obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they were lovely, but they had a table of stuff like zines and things that they had brought from Latvian comics creators and Latvian zine creators.
Oh, did they have any of those Kus comics?
I don't know.
That's the little sign for it there. They're a big
Okay, but
Latvian
possibly.
imprint. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the. They had a ton of stuff at their table, and the great thing was they sold a ton of stuff while they were sitting there.
Oh,
but they had like these, little zines that were about this big, and then they had slightly bigger books, and then so it wasn't just their work; they had brought their work. But yeah, that was tremendous. And then just meeting these people. I've realized in my old age that I think part of the excitement for me of being at a convention is not necessarily the collecting of comics or going it's meeting other creators. That's what gets me really jazzed, and so meeting people like Dean Haspiel and having Dean Haspiel pick up a copy of Tony Osmond 2 and be like, oh mate, this is really good.
Nice.
Is Frank Wiley an influence? Well, yes, of course.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so he was like, and I was like, oh, by the way, you might find like this, and he was like, are you kidding? This is exactly the kind of stuff I love.
Oh,
so it's stuff
Isn't
like
that
that.
lovely?
That's amazing.
Yeah. These guys who are doing it and have solid reputations, solid mileage in the industry, looking at your little book, and being so generous as to sort of accept you unquestionably into that fraternity, that sorority of comic book creators. It does your heart good, to be able to talk to these guys. And
is that something, Ian, that you walk away? What do you seek when you walk away from a convention? What sort of feeling or a sense of accomplishment is it that you seek?
I think it's the interactions you have with other people. I do like getting to show my artwork because you don't often get to do that, to be honest. You usually just sat at home, you might show your family, or it doesn't leave the house usually. It just sits there and you post things online every now and again. But it's nice to sort of like showcase what you've done. But like some of the best experiences, exactly what Cliff was talking about, just like meeting people, hanging out with people, spending that little bit, even if you know them, spending that little bit of extra time with them. I really enjoyed Portsmouth when we did Portsmouth. Me and Catherine went all the way, Catherine's my wife, went all the way down to Portsmouth. Didn't get there till 2 a.m. We were absolutely exhausted, and then done the con and then went out that evening. We'd seen you in the day.
Oh, that's right.
Had a lovely time with you, and like.
Yeah, I think I freaked your missus out because she said, "Who is this fucking weird bloke?"
She absolutely loved you. She thought you were amazing, and you
didn't freak her out, man. I guarantee she fell in love with you immediately.
No, he did.
I met their dog.
It's just what happens.
I met their dog recently.
Yeah,
very cool.
Dog, and just that really. We went all out for drinks in the evening. I just got to know people that little bit better, and you came away. Like Cliff said, just buzzing. Like it's just a shared experience where, like, it's a hobby, but it's also kind of like your dream as well. Like
it's a passion, isn't it? Yeah.
Thing you'd like love to just be immersed in all day long, and like for that weekend, that is your reality. You are immersed in like a comic's life, aren't you? And you might not be like a big name or a big star, but you can kind of pretend you are for a little while and rub shoulders with people who are.
But there's something to be said for like meeting those people. And they are just as subject to imposter syndrome as you are.
Yeah.
And they just, like and they're the loveliest people. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like that immediate connection that you get. I forgot to mention. So Jose Villarrubia was there as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah. You sent me a picture of
Just
that. Yeah.
walked up to the table. For those who don't know, he's sort of a legendary colorist and Spanish artist. Walked up to the table because he wanted to talk to Carlos Sanchez, the guy who was signing his book there. And I was talking to him. I was like, "Oh, hold on, yeah, he'll be back. He's away for doing a panel." And I did the elevator eyes, where I sort of started at the top and then went all the way down, then
There
saw
we
his
go.
name badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I do that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
You're very
then I
tall.
saw
You
his,
see, that's the thing.
I am, and it's very noticeable when you're tall and standing over somebody, and your eyes are traveling down their body. That aside, I saw his name badge, and I was like, oh my God! And then I had like that fanboy moment. It was the most embarrassing thing since Garth Ennis. I
Yeah.
had that sort of, and he was the loveliest guy. Oh my
Yeah.
God! Took a picture with me, and yeah. Anyway. So, but it's like
But that's part of the thrill for me, man. You've seen me.
Yeah.
You've
Yes.
you lampoon me as much as you like, but I was almost in tears
no way.
walking away from a table.
It was a very touching moment that
Yeah.
was ruined by Jason Wood. Yeah.
No, you were just taking a piss. He's all right. But yeah, there was a couple of moments at that convention where it was just like I was just full of. I don't want to meet fucking movie stars. I don't want to meet rock stars.
No.
Fuck them all. I want to meet
No.
the bloke that fucking created Adam Warlock. I want to meet the bloke that created
Yes.
Shang-Chi. This is what I'm interested in. And
Yeah.
when you meet them, and there's watch out for tops and bottoms this week because there's an incident of a not so pleasant fucking interaction. But 99% of these people are fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
so lovely.
And they make. And the thing is, when you have an interaction like that with one of those people, you're immediately an instant fan. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, they got me for life.
It's
then.
like, yeah, I'm in for life, and like I said, it's like they treat you as equals when you you talk to them.
I had that conversation with Howard Chaykin at Baltimore 2 years ago, where we talked about Shakespeare for half an hour.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
I'm just part of me thinking he's like the loveliest fucking. He's meant to be a terror, he's
Yeah.
meant to be scary
Yeah.
as fuck. And me and him are talking about, have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men than those that sleep at night from Julius Caesar. And it's like it's stuff like that. And we're like, this is fucking amazing. Yeah.
There's a bit of your head where, though, it's like you're talking to them and you realize you're just having a sort of like a hail fellow well met moment, but at the back of your head you're just like, I'm talking to this person, like, I mean, I had that moment with Pat Mills, right? I mean, I'm sure we all did, but for me, Pat Mills just made my childhood. I mean, he literally helped build my childhood. As far as the 2000 AD comics that I used to read, those were the foundation blocks for me doing this right now, talking to you about comics, drawing comics, creating comics, and I got and I haven't met him face to face, but I've thanks to you, Tony, and you, Ian,
you two need to meet him face to face.
Yes,
I keep telling
yes,
you about
yes,
this.
we do.
Yeah,
but at the same time as sort of he's just a bloke.
Yeah,
But yet, at the back of my head, like, I know how much of this in my brain that he contributed to, how many neural pathways he is actually sort of responsible for creating in my head.
Yeah. And now you both work with him.
Right. I still can't believe that. I mean, but yeah, that is the reason I think, why I enjoy comics so much is I've gotten to meet some of the people who are just like not real to me. They're like the avatars of the industry, and you get to meet them.
And we're losing them.
Adams.
That was
that's
a lovely
that's
moment.
the worst thing.
But
that is the worst
we
thing. We are losing them.
No, I've got you. I told you I'd keep you for an hour, so we're just over it. So I'm just going to quickly. We've got two things to do. I want to quickly mention Baltimore. You and I are going to be at it, Clifford.
We will.
We're going to be wandering around with Strotty, Steve Connolly's.
Mid-October?
Only in a few weeks, man. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Steve Connolly's going to be there. The Green Archer, the Liskers are going to be there.
Yes.
Jason Wood, Dap's going to be there. A few people, buddies of ours. So,
if I can mention two things that I learned at
please
SBX, one, Dean Haspel's going to be there.
Nice.
Definitely going to look him up. Jose Villarubia told me, literally had a conversation where he told me he is running a panel with Paul Pope.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to rolling up on that one and
You're a Paul Pope fan,
re-embarrassing
Ian,
myself.
Yeah, I like Paul Pope. I know a bit of his work as well. Yeah, mainly through cartoonist kayfabe, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Pope is one of those guys who's a legend in the industry, but doesn't seem to produce a huge amount
He doesn't.
inside comic books.
He's too busy being cool, wandering around in his
He
cowboy
is a
boots, isn't he?
very cool guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested to walk up to him with you, Tony, and see the effect that you have on him. But yeah, but yeah,
See what his
definitely.
barnet's like, eh?
Probably not as good. Maybe a little greasy.
He wishes. Good. And then the other thing I asked you guys about, so that's coming up in a couple of weeks. If you are listening to this and you are going to be there, then please come and say hello to me and Keith and Strotty, because we'd love to speak
Not
to
to me. Don't talk to me.
No make eye contact with Keith.
Don't.
Yeah. Fuck you all, don't speak to him. But if you do come up and say you've listened to this episode, I'll give you a badge.
I'll give you a fucking badge.
Yeah. Up your arse.
No, that would be
That's
horrible.
too far,
No, I meant just like a punch or something.
Oh, right, in your bum.
Yeah.
Right. And
what? Hang on, no.
Yeah, you agree to that. It's verbally binding. And the other thing we're going to mention is I sprang a question on you both. What inspires you? Let's start with you, Ian. What is inspiring you at the moment? What is there that's out there? It can be anything. It can be anything at all. And you can't say Liverpool.
They didn't inspire me this weekend. There's loads of things. One of the things that inspires me is a guy. I don't know if I'm even going to get his name right. I think he's a Manchester artist. I think it's called Harry Wren or Hari Wren.
Oh, okay.
I have actually sent you some pictures of his work.
Oh, yes, I know who he is now. Yeah. So he's a little bit inspirational with your recent work, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd say he's the biggest inspiration on what I'm doing at the moment. He paints like the inside of pubs and like really like grotesque sort of faces, and it's like the North, but a really dark, grimy, gritty, rough.
Pre-internet.
Yeah. And it's just usually done in like heavy blacks and like maybe reds and cyan colours. And I've tried to sort of take a little bit of that into the comic pages I'm looking at. Quite a lot of the time, I think it's sometimes as much artists and illustrators that I'm sort of using as my influences. Another big one is I think Ali Fell, who I've spoken to before. He's a really phenomenal artist.
Really up and comer, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he isn't everywhere, to be honest. His artwork is just, I've got one of them here. I don't know. Can you see that cover?
Yes, yeah. A Trick of the Light, yeah, which was his sort of breakthrough book, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, and there's another one called The Kissing Gate. His artwork is it's definitely the kind that I look up to, and I think that is just next level. And I did bump into him at Thought Bubble, and he had a big pile of pencil sketches, and I was like, oh, how much for one of these? And he was like, oh, they're all the ones that have gone wrong. You can just have it. I ended up giving a bit of money for it anyway. That's absolutely phenomenal, and he's just giving it away. And
that's great.
He is really, really talented. And then I like a lot of the European comic book artists, like is it Esteban Morato, and Fernando Fernandez as well. David Gray posts a lot of his work. It's just amazing. It's just really
Cannon's white hot into those guys at the moment, isn't he? That little firm, yeah.
That is so good. And there's an Italian artist that I've been looking at a lot as well. I think his name's like Corrado Roy. I think he does a lot of Dylan Dog. It's black and white.
Yeah, I do like his stuff. Yeah,
it's really, really good. So that's the kind of stuff that is influencing me at the moment, I would say. But there's loads. Going back, and Jay Lee's always there somewhere.
Yeah. He's going to be at Baltimore, I think, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's one of my biggest prize assets that you two got.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Like Jay Lee signed.
And he was up for a laugh. He was all right. Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear.
Again, another giant in the comics industry who I tried to insult.
Clifford, what's inspiring you at the moment?
Oh God, just what isn't? Just about everything. I'm luckily I'm at the point, I think, in my craft where the influences have sort of diminished into the final form of whatever I draw, if that makes sense, right? I think one of the things that you as an artist have to try and do is to move away from being overly influenced by like in terms of being almost a copier, you know, and you need to work into your own style. And I think that's one of the things that I am trying to do, is just sort of you know, let go of those influences almost, and the attachment to them, and just draw and just do my own stuff. But definitely a number of the names that I have just spoken about in SBX, it's rare that I run into even one artist who I find like, oh my God, that's so good. So Jesse Lonigan, of course, I'm reading Drone, and my eyes are being opened to just the potential there for multi-panel layouts and things like that. I mean, the layouts for it are just worth studying because they're genius. I was really lucky. Vivian Marie Stanislavska, who's the Latvian artist who I was sitting next to, we were chatting a little bit, and their approach to art, her and Ingrid's approach to art, was just so phenomenally refreshing and new, in terms of, it wasn't strictly comics, but it was narrative. And I mean, okay, so one of the things that she produced, this was Vivian, she actually gave me the book, but she has produced this sort of work where it's like a metatextual commentary on erotica and porn and things like that. So the book is printed in two colors, and it comes with a little colored viewing lens, right, in the shape of a heart. That is, that particular color, as you view it through, knocks out one of the colors on the page, and you can see the illustration underneath, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have to show it to you guys, but it's almost, you know how you, like when you wear 3D glasses and the colors knock out certain, you know, and you can see it in 3D. This is one where there are two particular colors. One is predominantly over the other until you use the viewing lens to look at it, and honestly, it's fucking genius. I looked at this book and was like, this is so fucking clever, and I was so sort of like blown away by it. She gave me the only copy that was left on the table, which was actually the final preview copy.
Oh, nice.
And she handed that to me. I just found that sort of stuff massively influential because you know, I was seeing things that were inspiring me to look at how I can produce comics in a slightly different way, or I can produce like that, my tangible zine thing that occasionally comes out.
Love that, man.
In
Love
these,
it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. And yes, it is coming back. There's been a bit of a hiatus because of various life events.
Man.
Yeah. There's been some stuff going on, but it's it's rolling in the back of my head. That particular project, that's my passion project. I really enjoy doing that, and producing something like people love to hold. You know, a lot of the things I saw at SBX were inspiring me to stretch, to try new things, to do something differently, to maybe, you know, kind of push forward the boundaries of this sort of boundless creative field that we are involved in. You know, I think comics have the potential. They ride that crest between art and words that have just immeasurable and infinite potential to produce just about anything. And you know, so that's what's inspiring me right now, is seeing kind of the work of, like, I never would have seen that work had I not been sitting next to those artists, had I not been walking around, had I not been sort of openly trying to sort of find some interesting stuff. So yes, that's my inspiration at
Art
present.
is life, man. Art is life.
Art is life. Yes, it is. And comics are life too.
Yeah, they are. They are to us.
I truly believe that. Truly do.
And genuinely, the thing that inspires me the most is friends and collaborators like you two are loving it so much.
Too kind.
That's my main inspiration. If I ever had one, it would be, you know, writing something that either you guys did and knowing that you would come out with it.
You've written so many things, so many things that I love to draw. I got to be honest, just so many things,
including that Stephen Dawson that you drew the other day for us.
I love doing that sort of stuff. That stuff inspires me. Little sort of quirks of nature and things like that. That you know, I'll put something in a notebook and I'll be like, oh, I kind of want to share this with people. But I have to say, Tony, you are exactly right that it is that sort of virtuous cycle between
genuine virtuous as well, not this
genuinely.
It's used in the wrong way these days.
I mean that. I mean genuinely that virtuous cycle in which we all uplift each other. Yeah. Because, you know, having these discussions lead to more inspiration.
I can't remember who it was. Some famous twat who said, you never like to see your friends doing well. And I'm the absolute
not
opposite
at
of
all.
that. I think that's the most dishonest load of shite. It inspires me seeing you guys doing so well. That's it. And knowing that, you've got such talent up your fucking fingers. That's something I can never do. But yeah, I think I interrupted you a second ago, Ian, that you were going to say something a second ago. Sorry.
I think I slipped my mind a little bit. I was just thinking about saying something similar along what you guys have been saying, and like it's just for me, like art was something I always wanted to get into, but could never find a way into it. And comics has been the most embracing of all the kind of art forms.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah,
like everything has been like exactly what you're describing, just like shared success, everyone being happy, like. Again, it goes. We always talk about it, but the ACP is like sort of like just community that it has built. It really, really does help.
There's nobody at each other on there, is there? That's the good thing about it. Yeah,
yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And like I always think as well, the other great thing about creating comics is no matter what is going on in your life and how difficult life can get, you can sort of lose yourself in something like the storytelling, and that's all you're thinking about. Well, it is for me when I'm doing it. I'm not really thinking about anything other than what I'm trying to get out and get on the page. And we talked about it before about like it's great for your mental health and anything like that. It really is.
It really is, man. There's a couple of nice moments on the Slack at the moment with, I think, Jordan Thomas and Jonathan Sapsed talking about their experiences with Grant Morrison and how lovely he was to them. And that's what we need going forward, man. It's the only way we're going to survive. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, kindness and I think just the basic sort of understanding that we're all. I don't think anybody's intentionally evil, and we're all trying to do the best we can. With what we have, maybe some people in certain positions, but at this level, in this community, everybody is just doing the best they can, and I think you got a fundamental realization about humans that we desperately need is not everybody's a monster, not everybody's
This is not a Diddy party, as I keep trying to tell people.
Yeah, there are monsters out there, but I mean, the thing is, it's like, most people are just trying to get by. And do the best they can, and I think that we all need community, and we all need to be part of a community, and it's just nice to have found a community in which is so accepting and also is so aspirational and actually you're not going to get shit on because you have a different opinion. You actually will engage in a reasonable conversation about it. You know what I mean?
Good point, Keith. Yeah. Good point, mate. Right, I've kept you far longer than I said I would, so let's finish up by getting our social. I know both of you are going to go, I don't really like social media. I know it's coming, but what's your Patreon, Ian?
I've paused payment.
I know you've paused payment on it, but it's worth signing up to anyway.
Ian.ashcroft.art on Patreon, on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook too.
Good stuff. Keith?
I don't really put myself on
You're on TikTok.
Media. I am. Oh well, I hardly post anymore.
You got a new cat. I've seen your cat. You got a new kitten.
Yeah, she's right here. Yeah.
What's her name?
Your little kitten. It is Cordelia.
Oh, she's nice. Is that a Buffy thing?
Yes.
Ah, good. Yeah.
So we got two female cats. One is called Drusilla. The other is called Cordelia.
One of those characters isn't she Captain Koenig's daughter?
Yes,
Space
Drusilla, the woman who plays.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a huge crush.
And is that with Barbara Bain as well? Is that he had a kid with Barbara Bain? Is that right?
I guess. I don't know.
Man, I used to fancy the shit out of Barbara Bain.
Oh yeah. Who was the one who used to change into?
Oh yeah, she's like a posh English girl, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Still would.
Absolutely, 100%. So if you want to find me online, yes, at CG Cumber, at CGCUMBER. I'm on Instagram, on the TikTok. I'm on some social media. I'm also on the longbox.substack.com, and for which I am desperately needing to update a column on there. And I do a column monthly in my local newspaper. So if you're interested in comics, I do write about it. It's
very good, man. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind.
I have a framed copy of one of them in my office.
Oh, so do I. I have. I came back home and Trophy Wife had framed that that one column that I wrote about our day out in St Austell.
That was lovely, man. What a lovely day that was. Yeah, nice work.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Thanks, guys. That is the best. You are the best.
So are you,
best
Tony.
guests we've ever had on here.
You're the sexy best.
I'm the best hair. That's the only best I am. But
that's not true.
And I'll catch you
thousands of women would disagree.
He's still
Tony.
going, isn't he? Still going.
Thank you. Love you guys.
See you soon.
Despite the fact he's given you all this praise this time and not me, because
it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Fuck! What do you want?
Why are you so pissed off with Ashcroft? What's going on?
Fucking Ashcroft.